Welcome to the Break Vape podcast. I am your host, Tami Ernst. If you are an overwhelmed mom struggling to quit vaping after trying everything in your power to quit, then you are in the right place, mama. Each week on the show, we analyze stress, vaping, and addiction from a place of zero self-judgment so that you can build up the skills you need to ditch your vapes for good. Are you ready? Let's get to work.
Hey mamas, welcome back to the podcast. This week, I wanted to share an interesting episode with you that explores whether vaping is a better alternative to cigarettes. Listen in to hear my thoughts about cigarettes versus vaping from a safe place of zero self-judgment. Let's go.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Break Vape podcast. I am your host, Tami Ernst, and today we are going to dive right into my thoughts on the topic of cigarettes versus vaping. Now, I hear a lot of chatter and buzz about this in the industry as I coach people, and I will just let you know right now, there is not a ton of proven research yet, just because vaping is so new. And I have a lot of personal thoughts around vaping and cigarettes and how they correlate. So let's just start thinking about it. Did you know that, first of all, you or the person that you are hoping will quit vaping can really get some valuable help sooner than you think? It's easy. Just head over to www.breakvapes.com. That's breakvapes with an S.com and schedule a free strategy session to have all of your questions answered about what we offer here at Break Vape. Now, how many of you guys listening who vape now used to smoke cigarettes? Raise your hand, not if you're driving. Now visualize hundreds of thousands of hands being raised worldwide because so many of us have been there. Now take another second to try and remember and visualize the very first time you ever smoked a cigarette. What comes up for you? I remember being pretty young. Do you remember the pros and cons of cigarettes? I can think of a few as an example. A pro for me used to be that smoking cigarettes was kind of like an invisible social handshake, right? If I asked someone for a light or to bum a cigarette, it usually struck up a conversation and then I had a smoking buddy. Did you guys ever do that? I actually used to think that it was quote unquote good karma to bum and let bum in the cigarette cycle. But I also remember the cons, mainly how stinky and smelly cigarettes were. That smell, it would be in my hair, my clothes, my skin, my car. That smoke, you guys, and actually vape smoke, by the way, has third-hand smoke. This is a real thing. It permeates the air and gets absorbed into surfaces around it. I actually did an entire episode with an amazing guest back on episode 24 called Second and Third Hand Vapor with Stephen Barth. If you haven't heard of third hand smoke, or if you just want to refresh your memory, go listen to this episode again after you check out my website and see what comes up for you. So those pros and cons that I remember personally, I just want to reflect on them for a minute and have you do the same. What were your pros? What were your cons? Did you used to smoke cigarettes? And were you transitioned into vaping? And now I want you to challenge yourself to think about something that vaping and cigarettes both have in common. And I think there's a lot of miscellaneous and obvious answers to this question, but for today's purposes, the one that I want to highlight is that what I think vaping and cigarettes have in common is that eventually in some point in time, smoking, it stops becoming social and it becomes a habit that you do by yourself, right? It becomes an addiction because your brain physically develops nicotine receptors as you are introduced to having nicotine in your body. And this is what I think, guys. I think Big Tobacco did everything they could to make sure that they profited from creating and keeping us all hooked to their products, especially after cigarette smoking became and remains the number one preventable cause of death in the United States. And according to the World Health Organization, it kills more people than AIDS, malaria, and tuberculosis combined. Wow, I just think about this topic so often because of the work that I do when I'm coaching clients. A lot of us used to smoke cigarettes and then switch to vaping because we were told that it is a healthier alternative to cigarettes. And this was after Big Tobacco started to forecast and see, in my opinion, that they're going to have a really big drop in the amount of people who were smoking cigarettes. In short, they were losing their customer base and needed a new revenue stream: open vaping. You guys, I remember being told and actually believing for a very long time that vapes just contained water vapor and that they were harmless. How many of you can relate? And wouldn't that have been great just to be able to switch from deadly cigarettes to harmless vaping? Yeah, that's every person's fantasy that is addicted to smoking come true. So here are my thoughts and my opinions on the matter. Like I said at the intro of the episode, there is not a whole lot of hardcore data yet to back it up, but please use your common sense, do your own research, and just go down this rabbit trail. As a coach, I get asked if vaping is a safer alternative to smoking cigarettes almost every single day, without exaggeration. And as I share my thoughts with you, I want you to get inspired to start doing your own research and see if you have any of the same thoughts that I do. For instance, I think that number one, typically one vape pod or cartridge will have around the same amount of nicotine as a pack of 20 cigarettes. And a lot of typical vapers will go through more than one pod or cartridge a day because it is so accessible. Number two, vapes have different types of chemicals in them than cigarettes do. And when they are inhaled, they are creating a brand new type of death due directly to vaping called EVALI, which stands for e-cigarette or vaping associated lung injury. Number three, vapes are flavored in a much tastier way than cigarettes are, right? So our choices between menthol and regular have gone through the roof, which just makes them so much more accessible, easier to do, and wanting us to smoke them more often. Number four, I think that vaping is so much more damaging to mental health than cigarettes are because we are getting higher concentrated amounts of nicotine basically whenever we want because vapes are so easy to hide. But then hiding them in its own essence leads to a shame spiral of guilt, regret, and depression. Guys, I challenge you to look up articles that correlate with vaping and depression, and perhaps your mind will get some information like mine has, which shows that people who vape are twice as more likely to have depression than people who have never vaped. Number five, and my last thought for this episode, but surely not for the entire matter, is that vaping has been branded as cool and socially acceptable, in part because vaping ads are targeted straight to kids on social media. And this is one of the many, many examples of how addiction is being taught to our kiddos from a very young age in our society. So my friends, again, I encourage you to get very, very curious about this topic and to do your own research because vaping is not a healthy choice. Zero nicotine vapes are not a safe choice. And I'm so sorry, you guys. If you want to quit smoking cigarettes, vaping is not a safe route to take. You are just going to have to change your thoughts around addiction and let them set you free. And they will, like magic, if you work on your urges and ability to manage stress and anxiety in a healthy way. If you have never vaped before, please do not start. Vaping is not safe. I am always thinking about you guys out there struggling with vaping, perhaps even hiding it and shame spiraling. Let me know what you're doing. Let me show you a better way. It is absolutely available to you, and you are 200% worthy of knowing how to quit vaping ASAP. Don't wait, okay? Head over to www.breakvapes.com, schedule a free strategy session, and let's get started working together on your vape-free future. I have your back, and I always have a plan. You guys are the best. I mean it. See you next week. Bye for now.
Thanks for tuning in today. If you like what was offered in today's show and want even more support, head over to www.breakvapes.com and schedule your free strategy session to discover exactly how my proven system can help you ditch your vapes for good. Bye for now.